All right, just doing a little tint today. Trying to do a little temperature control. You can see the non-tinted side versus the tinted side. It's a night and day difference, pun intended. Running out of light here and tint, so we got one more.
It's hard to see with no light.
One more to go. My buddy Alex is over here helping out.
What's up?
He's in the process of tinting his truck, or just tinted it, I guess.
Yeah, it's finished.
Happened to be full of knowledge and tools, which was a big thing. So
more tools than knowledge.
So we're just we're trying to get it done. He was nice enough to come over and help out. But, this is the last piece of tint that I have. Took a few tries. Gonna have to redo a couple of these, or maybe just one. I'm not sure. I'm gonna come back and look at it during the day again too.
We'll see how they look tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see how they look tomorrow. It's definitely gonna be pretty important. But
It almost looks like I know what I'm doing.
it almost looks like it. But here I'll go outside and do a little view. You can see this is the tinted side. Looks pretty good. And that front window there, that's what it used to look like. It was all the same. No tint whatsoever. There we go, zoom in. So yeah, no tint, 20% tint. And that's also that the tint is only on one side. So once we do put it on both sides there, it's actually gonna get a little bit darker too, just because you know, light won't be shining at this tint from the back. But, yeah, if you guys found us on YouTube first and not Instagram, check out our Instagram. We got a nice hand-drawn sign over here. You, me, and a Skoolie. Check us out. We kind of document everything from the bus to, you know, what we're getting into. I think maybe a backpacking trip this weekend. Lots of interesting things going on. And our good friend Cody. So don't want to ever forget him. Isn't that right, buddy? Isn't that right? Look at you. Look at you. You're so happy. You're such a sweet buddy. Oh my goodness. Okay. What's going on, guys? Part 2 of the tinting. A little bit longer in between getting this stuff done than I was hoping, but we've been busy with school, work, exams, so just needed a little free time here and there. I'm actually going bike riding a couple towns down a little bit this afternoon, so I'm gonna try and knock out what I can on this side of the bus. All that commotion you can hear is Cody. He's very unhappy because he is currently wearing a cone. Yeah, he doesn't like it. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on this and see how much I can get done in the next hour or so. So for the first part of this video, I'm going to kind of do a step-by-step on how to do this. Honestly, really the biggest reason, because there's a million videos on YouTube that you can find on how to tint a window, but it's all done by some dude that's it's his job, which, I mean, it's great, but it kind of makes it frustrating for people like me who don't really know what we're doing, because you're like, oh man, it looks so easy. So I'm going to show you like the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'll probably show you this back one, and then you know, give you that step by step, and then see where it goes from there. So this tint that I've got is like cheap dyed tint from a local auto parts store. If you really try to make stuff that's gonna last long, you're probably gonna want to spend a little bit more money on it. Get some like I think it's carbon tint. This stuff is, like I said, it's pretty cheap. But since this is kind of one of my first few times doing tint, I'm starting with the cheap stuff, so that way I'm not wasting, you know, hundreds of dollars worth of expensive tint. So most of this stuff is probably going to end up getting replaced at some point. But for now, we're going to do the absolute best we can and try and make it work. So first up, once you get your tint out, is I just took the sticker off of it. There's a sticker holding it on. Make sure you do not crease it, because that'll show up in your tint. Actually, I have a couple spots on the other side that it was creased, and you can kind of see it, so I don't have to redo a couple of those pieces. So if you got your tint, start going. It's not sticky on either side, so what you actually do is you take your teeth and you kind of rub one of the corners and figure out which side the film is actually on. So right there, I've actually got the film separated from the backing. I'm probably out of frame right now, but I don't know if you can see that. So I know that the sticky part of the actual tint is on my thumb right there. So what I'm going to do is make sure I lay that and cut it to the sticky side. Spray the window down. This is going to make my life a lot easier. I'm actually just going to lay it on without pulling that backing off. Take that, I'm going to unroll a good chunk of it. Oh, there's some instructions in there, it's okay. I'm going to take this razor blade. You're going to go through a few of these razor blades, so make sure you get a good pack of them. I'm actually going to scoot this over just a hair, and I'm actually going to do a first cut, which is going to be quite a bit bigger than the window that I'm doing. And the reason for that is because stuff is going to shrink a little bit, and it gives you more wiggle room because your cuts aren't going to be perfectly straight. So, do that. And honestly, this is a job best done with a friend, just because it requires so many hands to get everything held in place. But if you're careful and you take your time, you should be able to do it pretty well. So that's my first piece, and I'm going to carefully roll this back up, again making sure not to crease it. And I say that, but I know for a fact I will crease it at some point, so when that happens, I'll let you know what it looks like and what to look for. So, get that out of the way. Don't want to put my knees down on any kind of sharp objects. Go ahead, make this nice and wet. I started out with a bottle of application solution, again from the local auto parts store. I ran out of it on that side because you want to be pretty liberal with this stuff. So I just put dish soap and water in there. You don't want dish soap that has any kind of things added to it. So it's just like really plain, unscented, nothing, just regular dish soap. And that'll prevent any kind of deposits behind your tint. So get that on there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with the very top of the window. There's a little bit of a rubber seal around the pane itself. I'm using the factory cut edge on the top, not my cut edge. I'm using that to line it up. And then get this stuck on here pretty well. And again, this is just water tension holding it in, so there isn't any kind of adhesive holding this on yet. This is just so I can trim it to the correct size. I also have a nice little razor blade. Again, all this little kit, I just picked it up for like, I think it was like $10 for the razor blade, the application solution. So I did not realize that my camera stopped recording right there, so just wanted to go over real quick, showing the back window that I started with the tint versus without, and a couple of the mistakes that I made, like that right there. So gonna jump right back into the video here, but just wanted to let you guys know that that cut off, and sorry for missing the rest of that kind of tutorial that I was doing. What's going on, guys? Just wanted to do a quick just recap of the tint video. I'm just gonna show you guys the final product. Didn't want to leave it on a cliffhanger there, so yeah, I'm gonna show you some of the goods, the bads, and the uglies, what went well and what didn't. So hopefully try and keep this kind of short and sweet, but yeah, let's dive into it. So right off the bat, you can see it's quite a bit darker in here. One thing you will also notice right off the bat is this one pane. This is actually one window that I wanted to redo, so I pulled it off. But what I did not, I guess, know is that after a certain amount of time, the glue, I got a piece of tint stuck on me, it's still a mess in here, I gotta clean up. But yeah, what I didn't know is after some time, the glue will really break down and adhere. If you can hear that, that's still real sticky. You can see a streak there from where I put my hand on it. So that, coupled with the fact that this particular window is actually plexiglass, I'm gonna have to figure out how to clean it really well and kind of do that one again, because it came out quite poorly in the tint process. It was starting to peel on one of the corners. It was just not going well. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you can see this one, which actually came out really, really well. See if I can get my camera to focus like here. One thing to note is, you can probably see it right there, there's some bubbles. And that's really honestly just from not cleaning the window well enough before I started. So that did happen in a few places, but honestly, again, like I said earlier in the video, it's like one of my first few times doing this. It's not going to be perfect. I expect it to need to be redone at some point. It was just kind of a, you know, make things happen, kind of get some progress. The biggest things that you'll notice from the inside is some of these gaps, which fortunately we were able to keep pretty even where they are, or like some corners like that, which cut a little funky. The reason for that is, so normally when you're doing tint, you want to tuck it under the edge of the seal in the window. These windows are actually mostly caulked in, they're like glued in, so you can't really tuck it under, it's just there. So we cut it as close as we can. These actually came out really, really nicely. Yeah, so we cut it as close as we can. But there's definitely a few spots where it didn't come out the greatest. Alrighty, y'all, that'll do it for the tint video. Hopefully somebody could learn something. inspire you guys to try something that you might not be comfortable with, something that you wouldn't otherwise try. Even if it's not tint, go outside of your comfort zone, try something new. Tint's just a, you know, not super important thing, just an idea we had to help with the thermal control of the bus. We're going to go to some places that could get really warm, so we definitely want to make sure it doesn't get too hot, especially having the dog. You know, me and Aspen, we can tell each other when we're hot. Cody can't really do that, so try and keep it cool in there for him. That's going to work hand in hand with some other tools, such as blackout curtains, the elastomer, the white paint on the roof that you'll see a lot of buses have. That actually has a purpose. That's to help keep the top of the bus cool, reflects heat. And then another one that I did get from our friends Conscious Matter Travels, they put it in one of their recent videos, go check them out on YouTube, is bubble wrap on the windows. So that creates a bit of a thermal barrier, and that in between the window and the blackout curtains could potentially help us to, you know, pretty good extent. Actually both maintaining cooler temperatures when it's hot, as well as retaining heat inside the bus when it gets cold. So just some things to consider. If you guys have any questions, let us know. Comments, let us know. If you know what you're doing and know that we did something completely wrong, let us know. We're figuring this out as we go. So if somebody's done it before, done it better, has a better way of doing it, thinks that we completely screwed something up, we'd love to hear it. It's a dynamic project. We'd like to make it work the best that we can. Sorry about the light. It is kind of late here. I just got off of work, so a little dark in the video, but I just wanted to get this out to you guys. Keep your eyes out. We're gonna put up another video, just a little video from our day hike, or our weekend hike up at Mount Rogers, little backpacking trip. I think it's pretty cool. I think you guys might enjoy it. A little bit of a departure from just the bus builds and stuff, kind of getting into what we might hopefully be able to put out for you guys when we actually start traveling. So check that out. Leave us a like, subscribe, and y'all take it easy. Have a good one.